So there is a big aspect that I want to highlight now, especially for our investors in Europe. They wonder probably about corruption, but yeah, they have to know that you and me, Alou, we are super strict and clear about corruption. You know, even starting from the policeman, even going until the politician, we are super strict, super clear about corruption. And that's why sometimes with Africa Green Tech, it took a bit more time. And what would be interesting is that, please, Alou, can you explain why and how we arrived to this point without getting any help from the government, because we are not paying anyone, but because we are kind of achieving our goals with our own methods without being corrupted or without any corruption to any people in Mali. So why at Africa Green Tech we stay on tracks and we decide to stand against corruption? For me, a company who wants to be transparent and earns money transparently in Mali shouldn't deal with corruption and with the government. It's one of the first rules that needs to be applied. So regarding the villages, we are extremely soliciting by the villages mayor, and so sometimes when we arrive in the villages and we want to get into contact with them, sometimes the villages are already chosen by operators, and the operators are obviously selected by Bamako and the government. So there is like maybe a step here where it's kind of complicated to enter some villages because they have been chosen in the past by the governments.
Donc ça, c'est la plus grosse difficulté qu'on a. Et les bons villages où on a un nombre de population très important, malheureusement pour nous, ces villages, une bonne partie de ces villages sont déjà partis.
Indeed, it's like a big difficulty for us because when we want to target big villages with a big amount of population, most of the time these big villages are already taken by other operators. But we consider as Africa Green Tech that governments and politicians have to choose the villages and have to distribute the villages to the operators because it's their roles to improve the life of their own villages and not our role to choose the villages.
Il y a un nombre important, on se rend compte que non, ils nous disent que ce village est déjà avec un autre opérateur. Donc, nous, on est obligés nous-mêmes d'aller chercher.
But when you analyze the situation, you understand easily that the fact that we don't receive grants and subsidize maybe has an influence on the fact that it's more difficult for us to get in contact and to integrate big villages with a big population. There is for sure a link in between operators that are receiving grants and subsidies and their ability and their chance to get more big villages. And that's the thing with Africa Green Tech, we are investing our own money, our own financing solutions, and that's why for us it's a bit more complicated. But Alou, do you think we should think about something else or stay on track? Because we are definitely at the opposite of what is being done at the moment in Mali. I think we should stay on our tracks. We should definitely keep innovating and stay with our own values. But it's not a revolution to stand against corruption. Like, people should act like us and people should join us. Is this principle, were you already using it with your old company? Yes, of course, I always worked this way. I never used corruption to get the things done. But you have to know something, it's that in Mali, it's way easier, especially in rural areas, to develop our own activities because government is not present in this kind of region. Today, corruption is used to get main part of markets, meaning that we were acting independently with our own way of financing, so we didn't need any leads from the government. But yes, when you want to enter a market and get funds from an organization already partnering with the government, yes, corruption might be used by some people. We know that the situation here in the country is sometimes kind of complicated. Do you think that if the situation is going to be stabilized, we have the chance to be the first developer, the first operator in Mali? When you analyze the situation in Mali, at the moment, we are among, Africa GreenTec is among the first operators in Mali. Look, we have 20 villages in operation at the moment in Mali, which is already a very good number. Which is very important, it's to highlight the fact that our 20 villages are really functioning. Electricity is already in the villages. We provide electricity to people in the villages, and even if sometimes operators have way more villages, they are not as effective as us.